Welcome to another Red Light Edition. This is Left Side of the Brain. And tonight, I want to talk about the reason why death occurs. And I was doing some thinking, and it dawned upon me that anything that is unhealthy for the body expels and releases that thing which is unhealthy from the body, for the body. So when you think about it, let's take pregnancy for instance. When a woman is impregnated, she has to expel or release the baby from the body, because the baby inside of her, the body sees it as a disease or something foreign that's inside of the woman. So therefore, she expels that foreign thing inside of her body. And when a woman is pregnant, she has all the symptoms of a sickness. She has nausea, she vomits, she's tired, she has fatigue. All of these things are signs of a sickness or something that is unhealthy inside of the body. You know, anything that the body releases or expels, including food, liquids, anything that you're holding inside of yourself, resentment, if you do not expel any of that baggage, it's unhealthy for the body. So I thought about it, and I said to myself, this is the reason why death occurs. Okay? Now let me break it down. You see, first of all, since pregnancy, since our inception into this world, we were unhealthy for each other. You was unhealthy for your mother when you was developing inside of her womb. You see? So she had to expel you because you was unhealthy for her. You see? If you would have remained inside of her, eventually she would have died, and you would have died inside of her, right along with her. So, just an afterthought, it's no surprise that we live in a unhealthy world, because since the beginning, since pregnancy, we was unhealthy for each other. The mother was unhealthy for the child and vice versa. So it comes to no surprise why we live in such a sick world, because from the start, we was unhealthy for each other. So you multiply that by millions, and you see why the world is such a unlivable place. Such an unlivable place, and there's so much violence, crime, evil, because we are unhealthy for each other. Now, this is where the origin of death comes in. We die because we are unhealthy for each other. And we expel each other, where the body releases the life from the body because we are not healthy for each other. So the soul expels itself from the body eventually. That's why when a person is born, that's when the dying begins. Think about it. We say, you get a woman pregnant, you just created life. But did you really just create life? Or did you just create the dying process? Think about it. Because every human, we carry diseases. We are contagious. They say a smile is contagious. A sneeze is also contagious. And you know how they say 2 is company and 3 is a crowd? Whoever came up with that saying, it has a deeper meaning to it. And the subconscious meaning is we are not healthy for each other. Whoever said that, they understood that when you put more than 2 people inside of any given environment, you're going to have an outbreak of something. You're going to have a fight. You're going to have an argument. You're going to have some type of plague, some type of virus spread. Whenever you gather a whole lot of people together, notice that. But when you by yourself, what are the chances of you getting in a fight? You're going to fight yourself, but you start adding people. Then what? The chances of something happening increases. But what happens is we don't get the lesson. We don't see, life shows you everything. We just don't see it. So we break all of the rules of common sense. And we continue the cycle. We died because it was meant for us to die, because the body has to expel everything that's unhealthy, which would include all of us. So you die because living is unhealthy. Because again, we say that when someone is impregnated, that's where life starts. But really, from the moment a baby begins to develop, developing is really developing into what? Into the stage of death, physical death. You see? So instead of us learning, we do the very reverse. Nature is showing us that this thing is made to die out. But what do? We keep coming back. We keep having kids. We keep breaking these rules. Because another thing, you see, anything that's unhealthy, a virus, a bacteria, over time, it can mutate itself, and it has a intelligence packed inside of it. So for all of you biologists and doctors and scientists and med students in the house, this is your job. I want you to write in the comment section any examples of viruses, bacterias, cloning themselves to survive and stay alive inside of the body. They can mimic good cells, like they mutate themselves. They do all type of tricks to stay alive, you see. And so basically this video, you can watch this video in conjunction with the video I did, The Great Falling Away, and you'll see how what I'm speaking about now, about the human viruses, the human virus, how you have been misled and programmed with the sickness. Everything that goes against this kind of information, it's a form of mental disease sent to keep you recycling yourself. Because the process of death is a natural occurrence because, like I said, the body expels anything that is unhealthy for it. So your mother, she expelled you and released you because from the beginning, you and your mother were unhealthy for each other. So you separated. So birth teaches you to go your own way. The Jaguar lifestyle. You naturally separated because it was unhealthy. So even a sneeze, when someone goes, Hachoo, what does that teach you? To separate from anything that's unhealthy. Right? So the same, is said about each other. Humans gathered around each other, hanging around each other, living in large communities with each other is unhealthy. So this whole entire world is unhealthy. We are unhealthy for each other. And that's why we have these problems, because we pack together like sardines. You see, and this is the lie that we've been told since the time of the great falling away. You see, ever since that time, humans have developed in these colony minds. Most people are colony minded. They think alike. They think in unison. They not individuals. So what happens is, some of us, we are caught in between a rock and a hard place. We want to get out of it, but then we are stuck in emotional connections with people who we know don't see it like us, but we loving and falling in love with empty shells, basically, whether that's your family members, whether it's the nonsense that you were taught all of your life, you holding on to that stuff. Even while you listening to this, I know some of you are fighting with what I'm saying right now. You're probably saying to yourself, oh, this is just too harsh, or this just sounds too negative. You don't want to accept it because you are still connected to all of those false teachings, and you are still emotionally attached to human prison bars. You see, the first human prison bar was your mother and your father, because they didn't get it. And because they didn't get it, that's why you ended up here. And when you was in your mother, you was unhealthy for your mother because she had a sick mind by becoming pregnant in the first place. So her body, which is the right thing, expelled you from her, because you and her were not meant to be together in the first place. So naturally, it broke itself apart. See, everything is trying to separate itself. You see? Everything. Think about it. Everything is trying to separate itself. Just like how they describe the Big Bang. I believe it's called abiogenesis. Energy packed inside of itself, and then an explosion. Everything separated. So even within that theory of how the universe was created, it's separated from itself. Energy packed inside of a atom, once that atom is split, the energy inside of it, it's only doing what it was held together. It's held together in a system, but it only exploded because it's only doing what it was trying to do anyway. You have two forms of energy. You have kinetic energy, the energy in motion, and you have potential energy. Like some of you have potential, but it's not operating in kinetic, the separation and explosion energy. To move, kinetic means to move, because you're allowing a shell to compact your kinetic energy. So it's in a stagnant state of potential energy. But inside of you, you're just ready to be free and explode and be free and go your separate ways. That's why you shouldn't be afraid of death. Death frees you. Like when I'm done making this video and uploading this video tonight, it don't matter to me if I don't wake up or not. Big deal. What would I miss? Uploading a video? I got the message. What would I miss? What would I miss? Playing the PlayStation? Tell me. Putting up with human prison bars and organic portals and waking up, going to work. What would I miss? You see? So that's why death exists, because we was unhealthy for each other since the beginning, and we die because eventually we get tired of this, and the soul expels itself and releases itself and separates itself from the body, because death is the separation of consciousness from the physical body. That's all it is. But the consciousness, it lives on forever. You don't have to be in a body to be alive. That's the trick that y'all believe. You believe that life is inside of a body. Life is consciousness. You can be conscious without being inside of a body. Being in a body is being in a prison, held down by gravity. Am I right or wrong? So when you die the right way, you are free. When you don't die the right way, your consciousness will come back into this human shell. You will recycle and just come back to this world. I'm 100% convinced of that. But now, like, you've been watching these videos, you got the information now, you are without an excuse to be deaf, dumb, and blind. All you Jaguars, y'all don't have an excuse. Because to whom much is given, much is required. You know the truth. That's why you keep coming back to these videos, because you know ain't nobody else saying this. Because you found the truth right here. In this little corner of YouTube called the Left Side of the Brain channel, you found what you was looking for. God used me to tell you. And you can either accept it or leave it alone. Now, when you leave it alone, that means you go back into that dead world. You go right back being a zombie and keep believing what they're telling you. But this right here is the narrow path. Now, having said all of that, I'm not telling you to not, you here now, you see, you here. So you got to make the best of being here. You see, you are in this life now. And I'm gonna give y'all a secret. Focus on your breathing. Do breathing exercises. See, all of your emotions is centered around your breathing. When you're stressed out, you'll breathe different. You'll breathe differently. When you're at peace of mind, you will breathe a certain kind of way. Your heartbeat and all of your breathing, all of that is connected together. If your heartbeat is up, your breathing is going to be up. When your breathing is down, your heart rate is going to be down. Because that breath of life inside of you, that's that conscious awareness that I was telling you about. Breath is what keeps you conscious in the first place. And remember, I said being in the body is not what alive is. That's just physical life. But we live on beyond the physical realm. See, the physical body is just a prison. But see, the beauty of it is when you change the way you think, you can make the physical work against the lower nature inside of the physical, meaning the programming that was inserted inside of you, you can kill it and resurrect the new you. You see, you're still going to separate and you're still going to die, but you leave the right way. Your body is still your home. Nothing you can do about that. But I am a firm believer of one thing. This body, well, that's for another video. But if you change the way you think, even though this body is a prison, you can make the best of it. You can change the programming in your body. And you can see this type of information, it will increase your immune system inside of your body where you won't get sick. You will still leave this body one day. I plan to separate from this body one day. But you don't have to leave here you don't have to leave here suffering and in the hospital and in a wheelchair. You see what I'm saying? It's still a physical prison, but you still can maintain it. Like this type of information will increase your longevity. It will alkalize your body. Really. Just by listening to this type of information will add extra years on your life, healthy years. And you don't have to participate with them. The older you get, the wiser you should get. It's sad that a lot of people, the older they get, it's like the dumber they get. And sometimes, kind of getting off subject, I look at some of these people and the dumbness that I see from them, I see death. I just don't see ignorance. I see death. See, one of the signs of death is ignorance. You know the mentally dead by how ignorant they are. And you know the living and you know the chosen by how wise they are. Even though there's still a carnal body. Because look at Jesus, the story of Jesus. He had to go through the same thing that we went through. His physical body died. And then he resurrected and glorified. So that's the same thing I'm basically saying. Like, You don't hear Jesus talking about having kids and having children. I don't I don't teach that because when you at a certain level like me, I can speak for myself. I'm beyond those earthly desires. And somebody they left a comment. I forget the person, and they said something about why would I want to be remembered? What good would that do me? If you that person, let us know in the comment section. I thought that was very brilliant what they said. You know? So some of us, you want to be remembered and all of this type of stuff. And like the subscriber said, it was a fellow Jaguar. He said, what good is that going to do me when you gone from here? You see? So we need to learn how to focus on the important things, which is this information that I'm saying right now in this video. All that other stuff, it really don't matter, people. I'm being real sincere with you all. You know, I care for you and I don't even know you, but you know me based on the information. Because if it confirms itself in you, then you know me. You know me by the truth that I say. I don't care about knowing you in your personal life because that's not the real you. All of that other stuff outside of the truth is an illusion. When I meet people, the little other stuff they tell me about themselves, where they graduated from, that's not knowing that person. Because once you come into the truth, like this type of stuff, all that other stuff, it dies. That's dead information. It don't mean nothing. You don't take that on to the next life. You don't take your college degree to the next life. I don't know you because you told me what college you went to and what city you was born in. That don't have nothing to do with the real you. Nothing at all. Only this type of information. What we say, a soul is a what? Collection of information. All that other stuff, that don't even matter. So if I was ever to meet any of you in person, I'm only meeting you based upon connecting with this information. All that other stuff, it don't matter. Because this is the realest hour and we deal with real information. So y'all already know the left side of the brain channel is not about foolishness. We get down to the matter and the substance of this, the reason why we here in the first place. That's what we do on this channel. So all them other channels talking about all that other stuff that ain't about, I don't even know. That's why I specifically made my channel. I was called to do this. But anyway, this is just one of the 2 videos that I told you about. You know, I told you I had 2 heavy videos that I wanted to do. This is just one of the 2. I'm going to upload the other video tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Anything you want to add to the message, feel free to do so in the comment section. This is Left Side of the Brain. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the likes button. Add us on Instagram. Also, let's work on building the channel more. Here's your assignment. If each and every one of you bring on 2 friends to subscribe to the channel. Let's multiply the channel because we are in a war, us versus them, and we need to get this information out there. Not to save nobody, but to reach more people like us. That's all it's about. Just reaching more people like us, increasing the Jaguar family, and let's do our thing for 2019. And with that, I'm going to say have a good night, have a good morning. I don't know what time you're going to view this, but this is Left Side of the Brain, and I'm signing out.